another match. This one will be Guiding Hand Social Club versus Rep Cartel Match 1. Reminder, we are doing alternating matches to give the captains a little more time here. I'm Bacchanalian here with Apathetic Brent, and I'll give you the Guiding Hand Social Club team. They've brought an Oneros, 2 Myrmidons, 2 Arbitrators, 2 Vexers, and a Carries in what is a very heavy drone-based team, presumably with a lot of E-War in those mid-slots.
And from the Rep Cartel, we have Tempest Fleet Issue, double Macarials, double Tout War, double Kestrel, and a Merlin. The battleships for Rep Cartel warped in at 30 from the beacon, and the frigates warped in from 50. But we are at an acute angle, so the back line from Rep Cartel is probably only 40 kilometers away from the bulk of the GHSC team that all warped in at 50 together, so they're very grouped up.
Yeah, dude, maybe 40 or 50. I mean, they look about as far from each other as they are from the beacon where we're sitting. The Macarials and Temp Fleet, like you said, warping at 30s, but they're also looks like they're about the same range, maybe 50 off. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think the Macarials and TFI are going to be able to just melt those cruisers, taking quite a bit of DPS off the field pretty quickly. I think they should just plow right through the Oneros' reps. But I'm curious to see. I imagine the E-War off these Kestrels is going to play a role. I don't know for sure they're E-War fit, but I imagine with the mid-slots they have, that's what's going to be the case. So
that would be my guess as well. And also, the reason that you guys are seeing this Tempest Fleet issue is because we reduced it from 3 to 2 ships of the same class. So that's why we're seeing the Tempest Fleet issue in place of another Macarial. And it looks like we have the Tau Wars rushing into the GHSC team, and the Macarials are also burning in right now to get in point-blank range. Lots of damage going on to NT Rabbit in the carries, and he is down. Also, the Oneros for GHSC is taking a lot of damage, while Bob Shafto's and the Macarial is being primary.
Yeah, I would guess the destroyers came in and get rid of that carries right off the field. We're seeing Istvan Shogatsu taking a little bit of damage as well. The Oneros into armor. Looks like he's ASP shield fit. He's pulling about 3/4 of his shields pack on one go, maybe 2/3 there. Istvan now into low shields. We'll see how much stress they can put on that Oneros. But we'll see. I think the Bob Shaftos looks like he's at about half shields, and we see one of the Talwar is getting low as well. The Arbitrator is tanking this with the Oneros reps so far with no problems, but I imagine that's going to change as they get a little closer, maybe load short-range ammo.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that the reason they're having trouble really applying damage is because they're TD'd. I presumably TD'd. Also, it's worth noting that Bob Shaftos in the Macarial has armor hardeners and shield hardeners running, so he is going to be dual tanks.
Yep, I'm seeing damp effects actually coming down across the Guiding Hand Social Club team and ECM effects on Rep Cartel, so that's probably playing quite a role in what kind of damage output is possible here. We see heavy nuding coming down as well on the Oneros, so that is going to be huge to see if they can shut him down, but for now he seems to be tanking all right. He's probably cap injected, but eventually he will hit reload on that, and that will cause issues.
Yeah, I would imagine he's in a reload cycle right now. He is not repping back any damage from the looks of it, though he did rep back his armor damage, but he is dropping quickly. We also lost a Tau War from the Rep Cartel team, and there's some noticeable damage that is sticking on the Arbitrator currently.
Yep, Oneros is into structure. He'll be down momentarily. Pulled a tiny bit of armor back, but he's off the field now, completely gone. Istvan should drop very quickly after this. Both Macarials are pretty much unharmed. We have a TFI at full health. Merlin at about half shields. Talwar for Suleiman Shua going into armor here shortly, but here we see Nanobots Vexer into armor. We see Istvan. Actually, the damage is pulled off of Istvan, but we see Nanobot already about half armor.
I think that I would probably go for the Arbitrators first, but since they aren't TDing, I think it's a good idea to go after the Vexers. And also, it's as far as DPS versus tank, the Vexers are a better target to go after than the Myrmidons at this point.
Yep, we see Nanobot into structure now. He has explodified. We have a Merlin at half armor for the Rep Cartel team, a Talwar. Let's see, into structure as well. Actually, he is off the field, but it's not going to matter. Istvan Shogatsu's into half armor now, so his Arbitrator will be going down shortly. I think the ECM's probably still playing a little bit of a role, but I don't think it's going to be enough to hold it off. These Macarials are not really being hurt. Lucky CCS is at about 2/3 shields. Bob Shafto is about 3/4. They are ASB fit from what we can see, and I think they're going to tank the damage just fine at this point. You figure 2 Myrmidons, 2 Arbitrators, and Vexer not putting out quite as much damage as they're going to need to break these tanks.
And Suleiman Chua, before he died there in the Tau War, he did burn away and ended up dying to 4 augmented warriors. But it looks like they have changed primary to Lucky CCS and maybe again to Live from the Stage in the Tempest Fleet issue, as we're seeing Istvan just now about to enter structure on the GHSC team.
Yeah, you're seeing the materials actually holding at a bit of range. They're not really right on top of these ships, really to improve their tracking. You get a little too close to cruisers, they get a little transversal, it makes it a little harder to track them. We do see S1 Shogatsu's Arbitrator down now. We have that Merlin holding at half armor, but he has pulled range Cavalera. He's regenerating a little bit of shields. We see live from the stage now losing shields very rapidly. We'll see if they can break through him. But again, I really don't think they have the damage to do this.
Yeah, and he is running an ASB on that Tempest Fleet issue, but it doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot for him, and I am not seeing armor hardeners running on the Tempest Fleet issue currently.
Okay, so we have him into armor now. We have Zeraf's Arbitrator off the field, however, so 2 Myrmidons and a Vexer left for Guiding Hand Social Club. That Vexer, Hamish, already half shields. TFI is into about 2/3 armor, but again, I don't see him going down in time. What do you think?
No, I don't either. This Vexer's going to pop pretty quickly, but they're also getting some damage on Kumquat and the Myrmidon, which I'm not sure why they're splitting damage like that, but maybe it's a positioning issue. But as long as they get this Vexer down before the Tempest Fleet issue goes down, there's almost zero risk of them losing this match.
You know, what's interesting, if you're looking at the bars on the UI there, you see the attack bar for Rep Cartel, the potential bar is way higher than the actual bar. It makes me think the ECM is actually having a pretty solid effect right now. Whereas the Guiding and Social Club, you see defense, attack, and control are very, very small out. They don't have too many ships left. I do think this would be a little bit a matter of time. Just these ECMs, you know, the jams are going to break off eventually. That Hamish Vexer is going to go down, taking more E-War off the field. Live from the stage might actually drop. He is into low armor at this point. It looks like he's repping back, so these battleships may be dual tanked. But you see Kumquat already into structure. Kumquat off the field. Tyrix Thork is the only thing left alive, and I think that is going to be a handy win to Rep Cartel. He's already into armor and dropping quickly.